I'm going to start recording this. So, welcome to our live training session. It is Wednesday, October 7th, and it is another day in the market. So, these are our Forex League live trading sessions. These sessions are completely free for you guys. They are recorded, posted on YouTube afterwards. And pretty much what we do is we're just going to take a look at all the pairs that me and Nick are looking at for today, potential trades. We'll start from the higher time frames, go over higher time frame sentiment, and then we'll work our way down to the lower time frames. We'll talk about market structure, talk about entries, talk about projections. We'll talk about key levels, where and why we take entries, and yeah, we'll pretty much get right into it. So it is about 8:05. We're gonna get started with looking at Euro USD. Last night, though, real quick, come over to the dollar index. Dollar index is just the value of the US dollar. Last night, we had a push up on the dollar index, so the dollar started gaining strength. As we all know, with Trump saying that he is not going to push forward the stimulus until after the election, that was a big hit on the dollar, big hit on the US economy. And we're seeing those effects. We're seeing this overall downtrend continuing. This just formed another lower high, broke lower, retested, rejected the moving averages. So DXY is fully in a downtrend, and we're going to see if it can continue to push downward. So all the way down to the 30-minute time frame, we're still in a downtrend. In order for us to change our bias at this point, we would need to break above this level right now. So we're pretty much, and I say this because this is a lower high point in the market. We had this lower low formed, pulled back, made this lower high, made another lower high right here. Then we pulled all the way down to this level, pulled up again. This is a lower high that formed, got some rejection here. And now at this point, we would need to break above that level. And that would be a domino effect. That would be this 1 hour time frame starting to break structure. That would be this 4 hour time frame starting to continue to the upside from this large fall off to the downside right here. And then to the daily as well. This would be just a continual domino effect. It'll continue to push up here. So we'll start to see more bullish momentum here. But at the moment, all the way down to this 30-minute time frame, guys, we are still bearish on DXY. This needs to break. This is critical to break first before we consider anything. So that's DXY. Let's hop over now to NU. Let's bump up time frames to the weekly time frame. So weekly time frame on NU. As you can see, we've been retesting this level multiple times. 1, 2, 3 times, tested this upper level. Huge fall offs. We had this huge bearish engulfing candle at the level 2 weeks ago. But we need to just start to break this down further. We just start break this down further, look at market structure in lower time frames, and make sense as to what is our short-term bias. Our long-term bias is bearish. Long-term is bearish, but we're at the top here. We need to see clear-cut market structure start to transition to the downside. As we can see on this daily time frame, I'm going to take away some of these lines right here. We're going to clean this up a little bit. So as we can see on the daily time frame, we had been in an uptrend. We pushed, formed this higher high, higher low, push the upside, form this higher high, higher low, push to the upside, form this higher high, and then we formed this higher low. Then we just broke below this level right here, had a retest, and then we fell off. So we had a nice rejection of this previous support level, now turn resistance. And as we just build this story, we go down to lower time frames, down to the 1 hour, guys. Pretty much what we're seeing right now is at the top here, we broke these levels right there. And even looking back a little bit further, we could put on, we'll leave off the trend line, but basically we broke these levels right here. We're having a little bit of a pullback now, but ideally what we need to enter on this is we're going to need a retracement at the minimum to this 38.2 area. right here, or even higher, a retracement really back to this previous resistance level that it broke before going lower. As we talk about in the course, kind of just building entry zones right now, why would we enter at these 2 points? We have right here 38.2. We have also this resistance and support at this level. So we can drag this across. This is definitely an entry zone that we talk about. And then to the upside, we can look, we got 61.8. Right here, we've got support that would now turn into resistance. And over here as well, we'd also have the 200-day moving average. Right here is very aggressive. This is early. I would wait for a little bit more confirmation. Here you got 38.2, support, turn, resistance, and the 200-day. This is going to be a very good area to enter on, potentially for NU. So waiting on that pullback right now, considering that DXY is showing us to be bearish, showing us that it's going to fall. That would support this pair pushing up. And that's NU. So let's go over now. We'll save AU. Let's go over now to EU. Let's go up to the weekly time frame. Let's go all the way up to the monthly. So monthly time frame, we had this trend line, point A, point B, and then we actually had our point C right here. So we came up, retested this trend line, point A, point B, how we draw the trend lines, and then point C all the way down here. So we retested this level. We actually formed a bearish engulfing candle, but we are at a weekly level of support. So I imagine we're going to get some sort of indecision around this area. Let's just bump down time frames and start to look. So down to the daily time frame, guys, we had this high, this higher low, this high, then we pulled back. We bring on the fibs. When this bullish push started to the upside, we can see we are clearly retesting 38.2 right here. So we found support at the 38.2 level. There was also a support level that I marked down here based on previous price action, I believe up on the weekly time frame. So those are two confirmations. We had the support level, we had 38.2 at this area. We found some support, we headed to the upside. And then what we want to look at is the 1 hour. We want to look at the 1 hour. What is all this on the 1 hour time frame, guys? What is all this on the 1 hour? On the 1 hour time frame, as we can see, we broke structure all the way back here. Broke structure all the way back here, formed this new high, pulled back, made this higher low. Right here, pushed to a new high, came back, retested this low, pushed to the upside here, pulled back, and made another higher low. So let's just real quick, this is an exercise that I'll run through just to make sense of market structure a little bit more. Makes it very easy for you guys, takes off all this stuff that's on the charts, and I'll talk about where we want to enter and why. Got this. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hide all of this. I'm gonna hide this as well. So guys, this is a downtrend to the left. This is our downtrend. If we were to fib from this high right here to this low, we had retested 38.2. This is where we want to enter. This is where we want to enter on a lower time frame, on the 15-minute time frame, because we are on the 1 hour. On the 15-minute time frame, what would be going on here is we would be having something like this, all the way in the lower time frame. We're in a downtrend, forming lower highs, lower low, and then all of a sudden we break that lower high, we form a higher low right here, and this right here is where we would be entering, right at this point. Right there. So that's in from a downtrend to an uptrend. For this spot right here, it would be the opposite. So we are actually in an uptrend like this, and then we break below to a downtrend. So we would look to enter right here. And again, this is the 15-minute break in structure, going from an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows to a downtrend. That's what's happening right here. That's that transition. And then as we go lower here, We would refib from this high to this low. This test 618, that's our next entry right here. Then this pushes to a new low, and then what happens? Like we put right here, we break structure. As soon as we break structure, we're redrawing our fibs to the new high. We're looking for 38.2 to be met. 38.2 was met here. This is our next potential entry area. We push, come back until this area is broken, guys. We're still in an uptrend. We hit 38.2 again, and then we push all the way to a new high right here. And now we're retesting these lower levels. This is where we're looking for a potential entry again from this area. So we are looking to enter in this area. And then as we take all of this off, one last thing, and then we bring back on the fibs. So this is where we're currently at, right here. We're currently here, tested 618. As I bump down to this lower time frame, the 15-minute, this is what we need to see, guys. We see all a little break of structure down here on this 15-minute time frame. Boom, little break of structure, looking for that first higher low before we enter. We actually just popped all the way above this level. So we formed this resistance level, and then we popped above there, popping above the 200-day moving average. If we were to enter this, we would be looking to enter like so. And this is very aggressive. This would be an aggressive entry. We'd be entering on that candle. We'd be targeting this upper level. If we wanted to be more conservative, we would put stops all the way below this, higher low. That means that price could retrace. We know that until this is broken on the 1 hour time frame, that structure is bullish. So we could look at that. So right now, 15-minute time frame, it is transitioning. Had a little bit of a break of structure here, push to the upside. So this would be our potential entry. We would simply put stops below this level, below this structure level that just formed this higher low. And then we would be targeting, again, on this 1 hour time frame, this negative 27. So right now we are looking for this to push up. If this does break below this level right here, then we will get back into what we were doing before. We will look for that first lower high, and then we will adjust our fibs, and we will look to enter right there. So that's EU. Let's go over now to UCAD, and UCAD's looking really nice right now, guys. UCAD's looking real good. Let's shift around to the weekly. Weekly time frame on UCAD, we were overall in this push to the downside. We have the moving averages red over blue. We came down to this monthly level, found support, pushed up to this monthly level, found resistance. Now we're right in this pocket right here. So let's just break this down. Let's break this down, break down structure. Daily time frame structure is very bearish, like so. So we pushed to this low, pulled back, hit 618, had that sell off right here, that first sell opportunity on the daily time frame. Now we're pushing down. We just had a daily engulfing, so that's something to break down further. So as we get down to the 1 hour, and we're looking at this right now, pretty much what we needed to respect with this was this area right here. We needed to respect this area. We did have a little bit of a break to the upside. As I bump back up to the 4 hour time frame, though, we can see that this was clearly rejected. This was just tested. So whenever I'm unsure of an area on the 1 hour, I'll pop up to the 4 hour time frame, take a look at that. On the 1 hour right now, how I would be drawing this out is I would be having fibs high to low, 38.2 was met, pushed to the downside. Now we pulled back, just hit 38.2 one more time. And this would be our potential short opportunity. We'd have stops either here aggressively, stops here, or conservatively all the way above this previous lower high point. And then we would be targeting on this daily time frame. Remember, like, this is a daily move. So first we'd be targeting this resistance level or the support level right here. And then inevitably we'd be targeting even lower. We target this next support level, and then ultimately this monthly level all the way down here, because we are in this overall daily fib right now. And as we come down to the 1 hour, obviously we had fibs on this time frame as well, so we could use these fibs for projections to come down. So we could use this negative 27 right here and this negative 61.8. But we want to get it to at least 2 to 1 risk reward. Obviously, if we were a little bit more aggressive in our entry move stops to this point, our risk reward would become a lot more favorable. And let's just look again, on this 1 hour time frame, like we just broke down in that mini example, we had this pullback, this lower high, 15-minute break of structure, push back down. Then we have this pullback, this lower high. Let's look at the 15-minute, start to see what would need to break for us to enter on this. And as we could see, we broke structure here on the 15-minute. 15-minute broke right here, pulled back, shot up to a new high, pulled back, made a higher low right here. So this is the level, guys, that needs to break on the 15-minute time frame. We pushed, pulled back, pushed, pulled back, pushed. Now we're right here. This is what needs to break. We're going to come back onto the candlesticks like so. Draw our fibs like this. We just hit 61.8. If we find support here, this thing could push higher. This is structure right here. This is what needs to be broken. On the flip side, if this breaks, we're looking for that retest on this time frame, and then we will go short on this. So we have this will be right when we enter, right when we break. Doesn't have to come all the way up and retest this level. We just need some confirmation that this thing breathes lower, pulls back, finds resistance, and that'll be enough because the momentum is very bearish. That'll be enough for us to say that we should enter and we should go short. So I'm going to take out all of this right here. We're going to bump back up to the 1 hour. We're taking a look at the 1 hour. This thing looks very nice on the 1 hour time frame. We just need this last bit of conviction. We just need this break below. Really, if we broke below here, tested the 200-day, minor pullback, that's when we're going to enter. It's going to be quick. It's going to be quick, guys. So on the flip side, if this thing starts to push up, things finds support here and starts to push higher, breaks above this level, then we'll come back up to the 1 hour. We'll come back up to the 4 hour. We'll start to shift around time frames and adjust our targets. So that's UCAD. Let's bump over to GU. Take some of this off. And let's just see. We had these highs, 1, 2, 3 highs tested multiple times, sell off multiple times. Now we're consolidating. We're consolidating between these highs and these lows. So keep that in mind, guys. We're consolidating between pretty much 129,400, 129,400 area, and the 127,300 area. So we're consolidating between a range that is, let's see, a 180 pip range. That's the range that we're in right now. We need a break in either direction. As we bump down to the daily, we can see obviously on the daily time frame, this thing had been bullish, had been very bullish, pushed to the upside. If we drew our fibs like so, we could see we came down to the 618 area, found support, pushed higher. But on these lower time frames, we have some structure. We had a lower high here. We had on the 4 hour time frame, we pushed up, we retested that lower high, a large bearish engulfing. So sellers stepping back into the market. So on every time frame below this time frame right now, we're pretty much bearish. 4 hour time frame, very much bearish. Like we just looked at, we retested this high, fell off, found resistance. And as we just go down time frames and start to see, 1 hour time frame right now, we were in this little uptrend. We just rejected the fuck out of this weekly level, formed this lower high right here. And this is pretty much going to be the deciding factor on what we do. It's going to be either one of two situations. We're either going to break this level and then we'll short, go to the downside, or we're going to find support here. We're going to come up to this area, and then this is when we're going to look for buy opportunities. When we break above this support level, above this weekly level, we'll look for that little retest, and then we'll go long. And as we bump up time frames, we can see that if the 4-hour time frame moves this much, moves all the way above this level, if this starts to cross to the upside, then bullish momentum will start to be established. On the daily time frame, we've already got the moving averages crossed, so this thing starts to push higher. These things are going to start to point up. Bullish momentum is going to kick in, and then all the way up to the weekly time frame, like we just talked about, we're in this consolidating market. If this thing does close higher, closes above this area, and starts to push above this 200-day, then buyers are definitely going to kick in. So right now, this is what we're looking at, guys. We either need to get below here. Once we get below here, we'll look for that quick retest on the 1 hour, and we'll execute and go short. On the flip side, if this thing does find support here, we're just going to wait, see if this thing retests this level, and then we'll get to the upside. So that's GU. Let's bump over to USEF. We got Nick. Nick hopping in. Get him in here.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up? Ooh, some weird tasting tea.
Yeah, what are you working with?
Ooh, I have no idea. What the hell is this? Whatever. I'm about to. I got a few more, and then you could hop on. Taste of success, dude. I hope so. Tastes like diapers. Oh my god. All right. So let's look at USEF. Get this going. Let's bump up to the weekly. Boom. So up on the weekly time frame with USEF. 1 second. Oh. Man. All right. So up on the weekly time frame with USEF, we pushed to this low. A lot of buyers came off of this monthly level, and then we rejected these moving averages. Pretty harshly. Rejected the moving averages. We're testing this lower moving average right now. Let's just break this entire thing down. As I go down to the daily, we can see here daily time frame actually broke, made a new high. Now we're in this like pullback. 4-hour time frame is very bearish in this area. So let's hit the 4-hour. 4-hour time frame, made this lower high, pushed down. Now we're potentially making another lower high. And like we just talked about, guys, if we just look at these areas and we go like this, remember this is the 4-hour time frame. And let's just take all of this off. Let's hide this. Bring this back into view. Okay, so this is our 4-hour downtrend right now. If we were to fib these areas, we would see that we hit 50% here, then we push to a new low, move our fibs here, hit 78.6 here, and then this is where we're currently at, to the downside, hitting 50% level. We are looking for lower time frame transitions here. There, here, and here. So real breaks and retests, that's what we're looking to enter on. So let's just hop back on and bring on all the candlesticks like this. So we just highlighted these areas we're looking for lower time frame breaks of structure. Let's go like this, come down to these lower time frames, and just start to look at these areas. Start to look at, does anything make sense to enter here on these time frames? And you'll see now in the 30-minute that we're bearish. We're bearish. We're forming lows. These are just continual lower highs right here. These are just continuous lower highs. Came down, started to pull back, made this next lower high as we break this level right here. Then we had this lower high form right here, push to the downside. Then we just pulled up on this level, and let's just focus in where we're at right now. Let's take this off, and right now this is This is what we need to see, guys. We need to see this level break. We came up, formed this higher low on this 30-minute time frame. This is what I'm talking about. We pushed up. Now we're rejecting this level again, forming this lower high. We need to break. This is just very conservatively. We need to break this level. A little bit of a retest on this 30-minute time frame. And then we will look to enter right here. So we will look to enter right here if this thing does break. On the flip side, we come up to the 1 hour. We can see that this is clearly a lower high right there. And as I build that up to the higher time frames to the daily, daily we talked about, this was a new higher high. If that 1 hour starts to break, guys, this daily time frame could push. This daily time frame could push to the upside. This could continue this bullish trend. And this is why right now we got to be versatile. We got to be aware of multiple time frames of what's going on with the trend. And basically 1 hour time frame, very bearish. But if this does manage to break, comes up, retest, comes up, we would be looking to buy right here. And again, it would be ideal to let this thing push higher, then pull back, form some sort of higher low, form some sort of real structure there. So that's everything that I have for you guys. I'm going to pass it over to Nick if he's still there.
Yep. Still here. Yeah, that looks like a really good setup.
Very cool.
Sideways movement, classic break and retest, either the up or down side.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's going to be USEF. I went over GU, UCAD, EU, NU, and USEF, and I'm going to pass it over to Nick, and he's going to take a look at some other pairs. Let's get you on. Boom. No problem. If you guys want to enter in on a giveaway today, just put your Discord name in the chat. We appreciate you guys being here, showing support, and going over some charts with us.
All right, guys. So we're going to cover DXY here on the 4 hour. We're going to start on the daily, actually. I'm sorry. So we are primarily bearish. As we can see here, we had a huge fall off through this weekly zone, kind of just a huge correction for this steady bullish trend, right? So we had a nice break to the downside, break and retest, and then it kind of shot all the way down to the monthly zone where we saw some consolidation. So we definitely confirmed this as a bearish trend or a change, a transition from bullish to bearish. Once we saw this, daily break of structure happen, which just means that there's like a set of higher lows here that was significantly broken, which then, obviously changed the trend where we went to go form a new lower low now. All right, that's exactly what happened. So we had a nice push down to our monthly zone, tons of consolidation, and then it broke this little set of lower highs here, which is a 4 hour break of structure. So on the 4 hour, it's then bullish, right? Daily, it's still bearish. So we definitely think, or I definitely thought that it was going to push or could push up to the daily to retest this area because there's no real resistance stopping this from climbing. It just depends on when the momentum steps in and which direction it chooses to go. Because if this does pop here, there's nothing really stopping it again until that daily zone just over 96. All right, so here we are on the 4 hour, right? Here was that break, that 4 hour break of structure. Now it's kind of in this pocket right now, right? It's just kind of building up momentum. It did try to push lower, failed, tons of indecision right at that level, pushed up. We zoom in a little more here, right? So this is what needs to happen for us to see a bullish dollar or for us to gain confidence in a bullish dollar. It's just a higher low above this little lower high right here. So this is probably like either 1 hour, 30-minute lower high. And we just want to see this break, get a higher low above that with some strong bullish setups. And then this thing is out. This thing is just going to climb. But if it doesn't push higher and we actually get a fail break here, look for price action to form some lower lows back below this 4 hour level, right at 93.5. Because again, if we get below this 4 hour structure level, we're bearish again, and that the 4 hour trend is then bearish again. Okay, then we start looking for lower lows, lower highs, targeting lower towards this significant support levels like this trend line, this monthly zone, and so on. All right, so this thing is looking pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely in a good spot. This is a very classic break and retest. I If I were to make a projection here or a guess, I would say that this is going to go a little bullish. But we really just want to see something something major here. All right, so this is DXY. Let's move on to AU. All right. Overall, we were very bullish. Then we got a daily break of structure right here because this higher low was broken. So we went from, on a daily trend, bullish trend to a bearish trend. And then we got a huge surge all the way down to this monthly zone. And then the retracement, which came back and tested this daily zone, the double top. So let's go ahead and drop down and get a closer look at that on the 1 hour, actually. Just want to zoom in here and show you guys this. So this is that double top. Here's the daily break of structure right here. Okay, so we're still very bearish. As long as we remain below this zone, we're bearish. Then we got a 1 hour break here because this was a 1 hour higher low. Price action broke. Quick retest. We shorted on that. That's everything I needed to see to go to enter short on. Zoom out a little bit, or zoom in a little bit right here. All right, so yeah, we entered right here. Rode this down to the new 0%, which pretty much lines up with this set of lows here. Just outside of 0.71. That's where we hit. And then it pulled back and I exited on these indecision candles, pulling back through the MAs. Because I figured this is going back to test some sort of level. So this was 4 hour structure right here. It was going back to test some sort of level. So there will be another entry. And I'm just going to lock in profit. That was my thought process. I'm just going to lock in profit and then look for a re-entry if it presents itself. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at this for a second. I didn't label this yet. This is 4 hour structure right here. So we are now bearish on this one as well. Get rid of this, bring this over. Ah, shit. All right, let me just make this like this. All right, cool. So we're labeling this. 4 hour trend is now bearish as well. Key resistance right here at this 4 hour level, 0.715. All right, so let's go ahead and plot what needs to happen for us to go short. I mean, we are looking for short opportunities first because that's the overall trend, especially since we just saw this 4 hour transition. All right, so we got, let's just count the trends here. Let's just go over the trends here for a second. So daily break of structure, we're bearish. 1 hour break of structure, we're bearish. 4 hour break of structure, we're bearish. 4 hour, this was bullish. So now we're then back to bullish. I mean, we're then back to bearish. Okay, so very, very strong bearish momentum. Let's go over what needs to happen for us to go short here. So this thing's kind of on the pullback. Wait for it to hit the 4 hour zone. And then you really just want to wait. Like if it does this, gives us a higher low and then breaks the higher low, that's exactly what we want to see. And then we're short on that. So this is what we want. This is essentially what we want right here. We'll be entering on this. We want to see a lower high and then a push through a higher low, preferably a new one that forms, but this one would count as well. Right down here. All right, and then we'll target lower towards significant support and negative fib levels. So 2 to 1 right there. Let's go back up to the 4 hour, see if this makes sense. Could we see price action fall all the way down to this 4 hour zone? Yeah, absolutely. This thing looks great so far. Nice double top, good momentum. Not the strongest retracement, which is good, which means that it's just kind of taking a breather, playing into this pullback here. So we'll see how this plays out. But yeah, if we see any sort of strong rejection, lower time frame transition, good bearish setups, this is going to be a great trade, and we'll target lower. All right, so this is target number 1. This could even drop a little bit further, down to the monthly, even towards the prior lows. But yeah, we'll see. We will see. That's AU. AJ is going to look very similar, guys, except a little more dramatic because it's AJ. Excuse me. All right, daily time frame to start. We were bullish. We're very bullish. We actually got a weekly break of structure here, which turned the weekly trend from bearish to bullish. once this zone broke here, shot up into the monthly zone, started giving us higher highs, higher lows. Then we got a daily break of structure once this higher low is broken. That changed the trend on the daily time frame to bearish. And now it's pulling back, retracing, testing that same zone. So let's drop down. Let's start dropping down a little bit. We know we're bearish. Again, another double top situation. So this level didn't break yet. So this 4-hour trend is still bullish. It's holding. Okay. Weekly trend is holding. Daily and 1 hour, however, are still are bearish. Let's just clear this up a little bit. It's looking a little choppy. All right. There we go. Okay, so weekly bullish, 4-hour bullish, 1 hour bearish because we broke this higher low here. Daily and then daily bearish. We broke through a zone, and now we're just retesting the area. So some good trends. We're definitely looking for some sort of clear breakout first. We're not going to get ahead of the market. I'm not going to try and say, oh, guys, it's going long. We're going to try and buy it, this and that. Not going to happen. We really just want to make sure that there is a clear setup with good confirmation. So this is one scenario here. We really want to see this level break. Damn. All right. Let's see this. I'm going to bring this over. Or move these fibs over for a second. All right, cool. All right, so this is a bit of a range here. This looks very similar to what we saw in EJ, actually, when it was at its high, where we got these huge volume ranges, and then it kind of formed a lower high, then fell off. But we know we're very bearish, so I'm going to go ahead and favor short opportunities first, just to start. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm going to see some sort of serious rejection. Cross of the MAs. I'll enter on a candle that tests the MAs on the back end. Okay, so geez, something like this. Preferably it's like lower volume up here. We'll get some of this, some of that, and then there we go. And this is what this trade would look like. Nice little break there. Okay, so that would be a good enough trade to enter on. However, it is still within the range, so there is a little bit more risk than waiting for a break and retest. Whereas if you did this, then you could be a little more confident and target a higher time frame move. But there's no reason why you can't take this trade here and then look to play it into that overall daily move, right? So that's one way to play it. Right now it's surging to the upside. So what needs to happen for us to consider longs, right? We want to see it break back above this 1 hour zone. Nice higher low above that, like this. Nice higher low above the zone. And then we're going to target higher towards the monthly, deeper fib levels, and so on. All right, but if price action does get above this daily zone, this 1 hour zone, it's going to flip the bias here on the 1 hour and the daily to bullish. So that means all of these time frames will line up to be bullish. All right, but for now, this is what we're looking at. We got to really see how this zone reacts. Break or retest, we'll see. If this keeps moving like AU, probably going to see some more downside movement, but we'll be ready for it either way, whichever way it goes. All right, so here's a nice opportunity on UJ now. All right, overall super bearish, guys. There's really not much on this higher time from UJ. Just want to show you guys this giant triangle, huge ascending triangle, key support being at pretty much 104.5, tons of lower highs leading up to that point. Let's keep zooming in. The trend gets steeper, still holding at 104.5. Lower highs are getting a little closer together, really, really consolidating, kind of getting ready to pop here. All right, so here is this 4 hour triangle. All right, here's the triangle on this 4 hour time frame. Right, we had a last touch of 104.5 or 104 area over here. It looked like it was going to break, but it didn't give us a lower high, or not a significant lower high below the zone. So it actually pulled back to 78.6 and consolidated between the 78.6 and the 61.8. Just tons and tons of chop. Gave us a fake breakout to the downside, engulfed back through, and actually broke out of the triangle end through this lower high here. So this is looking bullish. This is definitely looking bullish now, which is good because this could be a nice little trade if we catch. Oops, if we catch this. All right, so excuse me, guys. Tons of yawning today. It's unbelievable. All right, so this is what we're looking for. Any sort of confirmed high or low here. We really want to see just a nice morning start, bullish engulfing, something that's going to give us confidence and say to us that, hey, this thing's definitely going long. It's got the momentum. We're taking this trade now. Really want to see that higher low form, and then we're taking the trade, right? We're going to target about 100 pips, risk about 30. You can actually do a little bit more than 30, pretty much 35. Called a nice 3-1. Still pretty protected. I would even go a little bit less, a little bit more. So 40 pips, 2.5 risk reward. Great trade if we do see those confirmations. So yeah, look for that long setup, guys, on UJ. All right. Oh, and obviously, if this breaks back lower, just look for lower highs to confirm that it's going to fall back in the overall bearish trend. Okay, this trend here. Just see if we get to if you see a lower high, preferably below this trend line and the 61.8. That'll give us enough confirmation to say, oh, okay, this was just a fake out. It's going bearish again. All right, so that's UJ. Let's move on to EJ, and then we got gold. So this one, this one's looking pretty good too. Let's go to the daily time frame first. Bullish, super bullish. Daily break of structure was back here. That's when the trend was changed from bearish to bullish. There's your daily break of structure. Price action rallied all the way up into this monthly zone. That's what I was saying. What was it? AJ looked like EJ. It reminded me of it anyway because it's had this huge volume ranging. Then we got a set of lower highs and it just dropped, push lower. Right. So we did get this 4-hour break of structure here. This is this set of this 4-hour high or low. Broke through it, retested, and then dropped. Hit the 61.8, pretty much went flat off that, then gave us a nice little break of structure here. Pushed higher, gave us a higher low, pushed through again, pushed back through the 4-hour break of structure. So I labeled here recross. Now 4 hours bullish again. If this level holds anyway. So we're looking to make a play to the upside. Looking to go long on this again. This would have potentially been a good trade right now, but this volume just, your stop loss is just going to be out there, man. Sucks. But it looks very much like this, right? So look, especially on the lower time frame, we'll get to it in a second, but 2 peaks, fake out, retest of broken structure, and then it takes off. What happened on the 1 hour? Pretty much 2 peaks, fake out, test of broken structure, took off. Exactly the same thing. It's forming a great trend right now. But again, damn, yeah, this volume. This would have been a decent entry in here on this cross, these 2 candles. But guys, I was sleeping. I needed my sleep, boys and girls. Needed to sleep, so I missed this one. But damn, that was good. All right, so let's talk about re-entries. What do we need to see? I need to see a miracle. That's what I need to see. I want to see a touchback of this 4-hour break of structure, or at least some sort of pullback. Because guys, we always want to enter on a high or low. Never buy at a high. That's how you screw yourself. That's how you skew your risk to reward. So we're only interested in getting the highest risk reward, the highest probability trade. If we see some sort of touch of this zone again, confirmed high or low, preferably a bounce off this 200 EMA, then we can have a tighter stop even, slightly tighter, not like choking it, but slightly tighter. About 50 pips, 50, 60 pips, targeting 180. Now we're over 3-1 risk reward. That would be perfect. What needs to happen for us to go short, right? A lot more than this. So we need to see a break lower, some sort of lower high. There's just so many levels for this to bounce off of down here. It's not ideal. So many minor levels that are just like this level right here. Actually, let's get rid of this. It's like this level down here. Gotta watch out for that one. Could reject off that. Right, but for now we're bullish. For us to consider bearish movement, we need to see a significant break Nice lower high formation with very strong bearish setups. All right, so that's EJ. Let's cover gold as our last one. It's been kind of going haywire lately. This one's looking short though. Daily time frame first. Hugely bullish, giant descending triangle. Recently got a break of the support of the triangle at 1900. Broke, shot down to 61.8 fib level, retested 1900 area, and then engulfed, bearish engulfing. Okay, so let's drop down and get a closer look. So here's the break of that zone. Just outside, it was 1915. That's the zone here. Pretty much broke lower, double bottom at the 61.8. Here's the retest. Kind of a weak trend here. Like this doesn't have much. It's not. This is not a strong trend. This is a weak trend. These three sets of higher highs and higher lows in here, very weak. Double topped right at the 200 EMA, bearish engulfing, broke through this trend line, through the support, through the MAs, and followed up with another very large candle, and is now currently pulling back. Again, a weak pullback needed though. The market needs to breathe. So this is good. This is where our potential entry is going to be. Looking for this to form into a lower high with a nice bearish engulfing or bearish setup, something maybe half the size of this guy. So we actually can get a decent stop loss on it. Something like that, half the size of that. That would be perfect. If we got that right off this 1900 level, boom, we're in. And then we're targeting lower towards the prior lows to start right here, back at the 61.8, 1850, and then down towards the weekly, and then monthly, and so on. All right, now here's a little trick too. If you guys want to see if your projections line up, if your target is good, jump up time frames. See if it fits the overall, outlook on that time frame. So, like I'm doing here, we plotted this on the 4 hour, the 1 hour. We're back on the daily. Yeah, for this to drop down to here, the 78.6 is here. Key level 1800. Yeah, guys, it's possible definitely for this to fall. So yeah, that's one way to do it. All right, so this is gold. Let's do a quick recap. I covered DXY, AU. Wow, DXY is pushing. Oh yeah, DXY is dumping right now. All right, so DXY, AU, AJ, UJ, EJ, and gold. All right, so that's all the pairs, guys. We covered a whole bunch today.
Yep, that's all the pairs that we got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the session. One last call for the giveaway. If you guys want to get in, just throw your Discord name in the chat. Another live trading session in the books. So we'll get this one uploaded to YouTube as soon as possible. And, thank you guys again for your support. Hope you guys learned a thing or two. We'll be live again tomorrow, 8 a.m. EST. So hope to see you guys then.
Enjoy the rest of the day, guys. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace out.